just beat the crap out of FNB and never was seen again for the rest of that series. So we hop into game 3 here, round 2 of our CBLOL Split 1 playoffs. Red and Liberty tied at 1 a side. Who will go on to match point with a win here? The early game has been very telling. The Rift Herald or the subsequent Rift Herald fights, Camcom, where the games have been decided. A triple kill in game 1 for Desamis and a triple kill last game for Grevtar that put their teams ahead.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned it, right? Because, of course, game 1, the first Rift Herald didn't even have a fight, but when they dropped the Rift Herald, that was when the Rift Herald fight did occur. You have 4 inspiration trees picked up as secondaries for Liberty. I always think that's kind of funny to see. Only 3 for Red. How dare they not match the 4 that Liberty has taken? This is the first game that we don't have both supports taking Glacial Augment. Now it is only JoJo with that Rune. Wasp with the slightly more tanky Guardian. I think he did kind of realize last game a little bit that the lack of Aftershock or Guardian just makes you so much less tanky, especially if you do get behind. Glacial Augment is there to, as I was originally taught, augment you if you are ahead and not do anything for you if you're behind. It's one of those runes or just playstyles in general that only works if you're able to find the lead, and anything lower than a heavy lead just makes it very much less useful.
JoJo's been hit or miss in the bot lane. Game 1, he had some great solar flares. Game 2, he had some phenomenal ones, but also, I think, tried to use that lead a little bit too much in his favor. Once again, the fans say this is Red's game to lose by a mile. I think even gaining more support from the last game, now at 93-7, but we'll see if the fans are right or wrong, is they're looking for the engage here, but JoJo can't quite level up in time. So Matsukaze is able to walk away from the potential Zenith Blade combo. And Matsukaze's bot cleanse every game, Camcom, and it's been great, but they've also been picked on when he doesn't have that cleanse available. So he has to be very careful what he cleanses and what Waz can save him from on that Tahm Kench with the Devour.
Yes, and that is the level 2.
Ooh, they go in on Titan engaging before JoJo and Leona can hit level 2. How about some aggression from the Liberty bot lane here?
Ignite traded there for the heal support for AD carry summoner spells, so much more worth for, of course, Liberty's bot lane. But once Red does bot level 2, okay, nice flash there from Grevtar. He will be perfectly safe, unfortunately not able to predict. Desamis' level 3 gank does soak a little bit of XP away from Crastiel, though, so that could put him behind later on in the phase, or laning phase, even if there aren't any kills to be found. Very aggressive plays being made in the mid and to bot side there by Liberty. Unfortunately, nothing turning out for them quite yet.
Desamis, or Aegis, I'm so used to Desamis on the Lee Sin, got confused there, but it is Aegis on the Lee Sin, taking a very similar path, going to probably look to make a play here on Kiari. You see Desamis on your screen as we get another Abyssal dive in. This time it only lands onto JoJo, though, but as he pointed out, there's no heal up for Titan, just getting poked down. That's the flash away from the final rocket. Yeah, the range difference not in Titan's favor at all, but we do get that gank on the top side we were talking about here. Kiari forced to flash away. The shock blast will land, though, and it's first blood for Aegis and Gigo in the top lane.
So well played there by Aegis. He had the full wraparound, so he was not spotted whatsoever. That is the flash as well as the TP being burned by Kiari. Very large wave stacked under his tower does kind of force him to TP. He would lose at least a full level worth of XP if he didn't TP right there. That is a very risky TP, though, if Aegis did want to go for a second dive back onto him. But playing it safe, Guigo will use his TP as well, just to even out the top lane a little bit. But yes, now jungle matchup very much in favor of Aegis. Viego already doesn't want to ever take a 1v1 against Lee Sin, now even more so than before. With the kill and a very early Iron Spike whip picked up for the Lee Sin, just makes it that much scarier in these early few levels.
Do get resets from the AD carries as well, though Titan very far behind. I don't know how much cheering we'll see from him in the player camp based on how that early trade went, as Waz is going to rotate up to the top lane, does walk over the River Scuttle, walks over the ward as well, though it was turned off by the pink ward. He is just going to simply reset there and start to put some early vision around that Rift Herald. There is a Hextech Drake up on the map in 11 seconds, potentially maybe trying to make a play here as we have 3 members of Red looking for the dive onto Matsukaze, knowing he's all alone, but Crastiel has rotated down, so that should just be a plate here for Titan. He'll get that solo plate gold, and that'll help that Misfortune get a little bit back into this game after an early CS deficit.
Yeah, Titan having a very rough early lane phase so far. I want to talk about the abilities that Matsukaze could use to cleanse, as yes, it is a very good ability into champions like Ashe where you know that you're going to be hit by CC, but Titan, it's not a great use of cleanse to ever cleanse a slow, right? You want to cleanse hard CC, and JoJo's hard CC is so little and usually paired up with other CC that it's not something that you typically want to cleanse. You can cleanse the solar flare, and that is just about it. It is very hard to cleanse a kick, so I'm not even going to count that one, right? And Greftar, maybe you can cleanse a fear. That and solar flare are pretty much the only things that would be even slightly useful for Matsukaze to cleanse, and those are on very long cooldowns compared to the cleanse.
Oh, we get Titan roaming up as the fear does land on the Crastiel. Titan is here. Not able to find much more, though, and Red getting very aggressive. Yeah, that cleanse just felt like the default pick because of the solar flares from Leona, but as you pointed out,
yeah, more comfort.
The only thing, and you have the Devour as well. Even if you get caught, Woz could just save you with a Devour, worst case. But again, I mean, you can argue late game heal loses a lot of its merit, and since you probably felt like Matsukaze and Woz were going to dominate this lane like they have, I can see the cleanse is kind of like that get out of jail free card of, oh, we got caught in a solar flare.
Yes. And I did misspeak. I meant to say cleanse is a longer cooldown than both of the abilities that I did mention. First, Dragon is on the table still. You did mention a couple of minutes ago it did spawn. Current bot side vision prio is in the favor of Liberty as well. Obviously, Matsukaze and Was still very heavily dominating this laning phase. First item tier for Misfortune does mean that she is very much not playing for this laning phase. Very similar to last game, Titan building that coal just kind of signals to everyone on the map they're not playing for lane, they're playing for after these items are finished stacking.
Rift Herald up in 45 seconds. That's where we've had all our action, though. Desamis is rotated down and is going to be able to sneak in to that alcove potentially, and as I hype that up, he starts to channel the recall, though he has canceled it, but it looks like Red is just simply pushed too far back for him to get any value. He will steal some XP, level up to level 6. They could, again, look for a dive, maybe look for JoJo and Titan to find a re-engage here as Desamis is hanging around, but the wave being crashed into the tower looks like instead,
Flash?
Let's go for a full-on flash Abyssal Dive. Not going to land onto anything. Desamis still chasing. So that will be a flash traded out for, it looks like Titan actually had to blow the heal. As Aegis comes up to jump onto Kiari, gonna kick him. The tower not able to finish him off, and Gigo picks up the kill. So one jungler successful, the other one just got a plate.
Liberty tried so hard to force that play on the bot lane. Was even flashing forward as well and just not able to land the Abyssal Voyage onto anyone means the bot lane play is pretty much wasted. They are able to pick up a couple of plates, but especially since Desama showed on the bot side means Kiari will get picked up on the top side. First Rift Herald will be taken by Aegis on top of that as well. Of course, trade for the first dragon, so not as big of a deal, but 2-0 for the top side of Red will be very strong for them and probably will be able to take the first tower on the outer side for them as well.
Yeah, I would expect Aegis comes right back up to the top side here with Gigo. You see the gold, those two in particular, absolutely dominating. Though the difference between Titan and Matsukaze is a bit concerning, though that is 3 full plates that went over to Matsukaze that's building that difference, and that Jinx can be a very scary solo hyper carry later in the game if that's what Liberty ends up needing. And Kiari just has not had any luck. Game 2 did not go his way on the Scion. I hyped up at least picking something more aggressive. Again, I don't want to feel like a Graves backer, but I at least like the pick. And he has been punished routinely by Gigo and Aegis so far in these first 9 minutes.
Almost picking up another plate on the bot lane there for Red. They don't have the lead in this bot lane whatsoever, which is... It's not what you picked Misfortune for. You kind of pick Misfortune in similar situations as almost a Varus, right? Crastiel could be caught up by a solar flare.
They want him to walk into it. I think
Greftar,
I think they probably wanted to start with a Greftar Fear potentially, but there is Aegis and Guigo back on the top side. Kiari going to retreat to his tower. Unfortunately, Aegis just couldn't get in range in time to assist Gigo. But that'll basically send the message that they are looking top with the Rift Herald. It forces out a rotation from Desamis and Crastiel. But Aegis will simply back and be able to reset across the map.
Chiari being forced to use his flash defensively on cooldown on the top side now. Desamas, first time he's showing his face up here on the top side. Can they make something happen on Guigo?
Acceleration gate, but gonna get slowed down by that smoke screen. Gigo just gets obliterated. Great pickup by Desamas there with the counter gank. Aegis had opted for the back. Now here comes Grevthar and Aegis to the top side of the map. Aegis is still chasing. This could potentially be a one-on-one with Chiari if he chooses to take it. Desamas gonna cancel the back though. Aegis gonna jump right onto him, Dragon Rage him, but Chiari will dash away. Goes in with the resonating strike. I don't think he expected Desamas to be there. And he just picks up a free kill for no reason.
And all of a sudden, the top side for Liberty is now able to match Red, and that was where all the pressure and all the leads that Red was holding, right, was between Guigo and Aegis. All of a sudden, Desamas comes out, gets an almost double kill after being 0-0-0 for the first 10 minutes of this game, and now you're like, well, what did we do with our lead? We did absolutely nothing, weren't even able to drop that first Rift Trail that they weren't able to take here quite yet. Blades will expire soon, and that's an excellent double knockup.
Unfortunately, the Super Mega Death Rocket does miss. Jojo's gonna Solar Flare into the bullet time, but there is the Devour. Natsukaze didn't even have to blow the cleanse there. And now it's a reset for Red, and potentially, if Liberty wants to, they can jam this bot lane and look to pick up at least another plate. Or maybe even more, as Titan has to stick around for now, but doesn't really have much left in the tank.
Man, this bot lane for Red is everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong for Titan so far. I think this.
Oh, he's gonna challenge this. Matsukaze does not have any mana. He does have flash though, and he just walks away. We got excited for nothing.
Titan, he's just trying to play League of Legends right now, man. He has been allowed to play anything but League of Legends. I can't even say green screen or gray screen simulator either, as he has not died or just gotten kills yet. He's just down here vibing once again in the bot lane, and so far he's having a fun time doing it. Unfortunately, is down quite a lot of CS, so we're about to have a party up here in the top lane.
4v4, here comes the Cavalry. Crastiel looking for a charm, but he's all alone. There's no blast cone for Desamas to join him with. Waz does have the Abyssal Voyage, but I think the River Scum saves Red as 3 members of Liberty walked over, and they have to blow the Herald all the way back in the base because it is about to time out. Now look at the escort.
Yeah, that Guigo will be here just to do a little dance with Shelly up here on the top side. But yeah, that is just unfortunate that... Oh, ooh, nice charm. Okay, Jojo here as well. I think Crastiel should be all right, though. Maybe?
Does have the Solar Flare. Here it goes. Engage from Jojo. Solar Flare whiffs. Dropped it on himself. Crastiel pops the Spirit Rush. You cannot stun yourself, Jojo. I don't know why you'd ever want to do that. Is Aegis going to Dragon Rage Was away? And now Liberty will probably look to rotate up. Charm barely misses. We'll see if that Rift Herald can even make it to the tower. Chiari might be able to take care of it. It does have the exposed back, but it has to be very careful of Gigo and company. Will get the charge out, but Gigo wasn't even in range. That gold only going to go over to Aegis. No one else.
First Dragon is now on the map. Aegis is on the top side with the gold being transferred over to him. I think that reveals where he is on the map. I'm not 100% on that.
Smoke screen, he's all alone. Grevthar's the closest player on the map. Chiari is just simply dead here. The question becomes who picks up the kill and can he do any damage? It will be Aegis who picks up the kill. Great rotation. They are bullying Chiari in this top lane now here in game number 3. The 3rd kill of the game for Red, all on the top. Every kill in the game cam comp has come on the top side of the map so far.
And again, the question just becomes, where can you turn this topside lead into anything, right? First Rift Herald, they tried to use it for a lead. They weren't even really able to do that correctly. And now first Dragon there, or second Dragon, even there's another fight for that.
Bullet time goes out. Was able to flash away. There's still more coming in. The Shadow Surge just misses 2 and Solar Flare will land, but Matsukaze is all alone. He can pepper out the damage, so he doesn't have a lot of mana. They'll blast cone over the wall, but right into Aegis, who did land the Sonic Wave. Resonating Strike, but he'll cancel it with the ward. Didn't want to bite off more than he could chew. They have to be careful. Flash Demon Blade will go in. Desamas will fall, so will Waz. And with Matsukaze and Crastiel out of mana, there's nothing Liberty can do in return.
And again on the player cams, we're going to see it on a replay of 100% certain, but Grevthar cheering, and this time high-fiving Aegis for that play. Titan, he did not get the high five this time, as yes, we will get a replay. Was, unfortunately, in vision means that his Abyssal Voyage will not be able to hit anyone. Excellent Solar Flare plus bullet time landed once again. It was just, yeah, Solar Flare actually came out a little bit late there, did land onto 2 members. Really quite excellent ultimate there by Was. He was able to keep the Samus alive for a very extended period of time, but that bait right there, Aegis going in and immediately able to get back out, was what bait out the most important abilities that had he gone in and not dodged out, he would have probably died. That's, again, the player cams, man, are just so telling. So well played there by Grevthar. Still no kills for him, but all the gold, 100% kill participation for right now is on Aegis.
And the biggest downfall for Liberty is Matsukaze and Crastel just were out of mana. That entire fight, there's nothing they could do. Ari, more of a cooldown-based champion with her combo, had nothing left in the tank. We did get a Cloud Drake taken during that replay. It will be an Infernal Soul. So again, maybe our most exciting dragon of this series so far as the Soul is Watts. Has to be careful. Their Acceleration Gate and the Sonic Blast, not able to do that big chunk of damage that Jace is so known for as the Sonic Wave. Will also miss Crastiel. There's a 5-man death burst. They do immediately get scouted out. However, I think that should tell Liberty we need to walk away as quickly as possible.
Fish, all of a sudden, our playoff game 3 match here is turned into a match of ARAM. This was not expected in the draft. I did say we might see random champions, but I did not expect the full 5v5 ARAM here in the mid lane. Guys, there are side waves, I promise.
Well, they're now going to move over to Rift Herald. Yeah, I mean, I guess the tier 1 mids haven't fallen yet. The power turrets will. We'll see Liberty will start up the Rift Herald. Grevthar's on the backside of your screen looking for a Shadow Surge. Going to run right into Kiari, however. And that will ruin that engage. Now, Kiari wants to go for the solo challenge onto Vex. Rift Herald now down to 6,000 health. Aegis not able to land the Sonic Wave. Jojo's going to go in. Here comes the Shadow Surge as well. Kiari's on the backside. Rift Herald at 3,000 as 2 members go down. It's a 2-for-2 trade. Rift Herald still dropping. Both junglers are still alive, though unfortunately Titan will get called out. It's all up to Aegis. The Rift Herald resets. It's a triple kill for DeSamus, and this should be Rift Herald unless Aegis can make magic happen. He still has the flash. Will
still
he look
has
to
the
go
smite.
in? They waited out the Sonic Wave. Great play by Liberty. And a huge win for them in that team fight as well.
Huge play by DeSamus there in the team fight. Reset into kill, into reset, into kill, into reset, into kill. And then all of a sudden, he's got a triple kill on his head. So well played. That is why you see the Viego and Kiari pushed a wave too late. He will be dead now.
Seen this play before. Gigo, they finally find him. Took him a little bit longer than I thought it would, but Kiari, as you said, Camcom is just simply dead. They'll give the kill over to Gigo, but that is a minor present for Red, as now this is a 4-man siege. It is all random, all mid, as you called out, Camcom. They don't even need Rift Herald for that tier 1 mid, and that is a huge pickup for Liberty as they start to slowly take control here in game number 3, just barely, by about 1,000, by about 100 gold. Never mind, thought that was more.
Out of any lane to be really carrying the whole team right now in this game 3, I was not expecting it to be jungler, or the jungles, right? Both of the junglers sitting almost identical in gold, items, CS, KD, like everything is just so even. It is all on both of their shoulders. I wish we could see the gold graph, but unfortunately we cannot ask the observers for that. I would definitely say Aegis and DeSamus, number 1, number 2 on these gold charts right now. So it is all on not necessarily their engage, because neither of them are the first engage members for the team, both that being their supports instead, but the follow-up damage and any follow-up CC that they're able to land is absolutely what has been changing these team fights so much. And this is, Fish, by far our most even game in the series yet. I thought, I didn't think there would be a kill there, but Crastiel 1v1 gets the outplay on Aguigo.
I could not tell who was going to win that fight. It looked like Crastiel had it, but unfortunately Ari burst ran out, and then Guigo just could not dodge the Q on the way back. And now that'll be a Rift Herald drop. That will be all 3 tier 1 towers picked up here for Liberty. And now they're starting to move across the map, and we're starting to see that Misfortune, didn't get that much damage off in that last fight, and I think Jinx is going to do Jinx things, while I'm worried that Misfortune will not do Misfortune things, because Bullet Time is such a harder ult to land than just launching a Super Mega Death Rocket, and that's where a ton of the Misfortune damage can come from.
Fish, all of the sudden, both of the teams remember that side lanes are a thing, and 3 towers were just taken in the span of about 10 seconds. 1 outer turret taken for Liberty, 1 outer turret taken for Red, 2 for Liberty, and we have third dragon, even second dragon for either team on the map. Red, first ones there most likely will be the ones to take it, so now they have not necessarily a gold lead, but a dragon lead will be very strong for them going into the next couple of minutes here. Baron on the map, I don't think there's going to be any plays for it quite yet without Guigo having TP, so he has to stay with the rest of the team for at least a couple more minutes. Aegis almost picked out for that dragon, but they were able to secure it without any contest.
Here comes the rest of Liberty now. Gigo has to be careful. As you mentioned, does not have teleport. He just has to retreat as fast as possible. Age is going to try and buy him some time. Here comes Grevthar in with the teleport. The acceleration rate's going to come through. Crastiel, Spirit rushes in, lands the charm. Gigo gets caught out. Here comes the rest of the team, but Jojo got knocked away on the blast cone, so he can't go in. Solar Flare just misses. I think a poor blast cone there put Jojo right on top of the Krug spot, and that meant he couldn't go in to try and turn that fight around, and Gigo just gets punished for overextending without teleport. Well, Kiari?
Oh no, Kiari? Nope, he's okay. He smelled out the bush, he smelled them in all 4 members in there, and he will be perfectly safe, and with that 1 kill, they are able to transit that into that inner turret, but is there another team fight for it?
Masukaze gets excited with the turret going down from the Jinx passive. Zap's going to land as well. Jojo goes in. There's no one left. Bullet time just simply devoured by Wash onto Desamas. He gets away for free. Nice charm onto Aegis, who barely survives. And a huge play. Usually we talk about Jinx getting excited with the kill. I love that Liberty said, look, we get excited when we kill a tower too. Let's turn that into a fight. And they played that perfectly.
Yeah, excellent macro play once again from Liberty. You get 1 little lead, 1 little pick onto Guigo, transition that in the tower. You almost can get even another team fight win after that as well, but the full disengage I much prefer after getting the second kill onto Jojo. So in the end, 2 for 0 plus an inner turret that, remember, that extra local gold going over to both Crastiel and Matsukaze is just extending this gold lead further and further. 2,500 gold now in the favor of Liberty, and all of that is on the most important members, Kiari and Wasp being the least important and also the lowest in gold. So this is exactly what Liberty wanted, or exactly the point that Liberty wanted to be at the 22-minute mark.
And Wasp has basically just shut down what Misfortune is really known for, which is those bullet times into fights. Wasp just says, okay, I'm going to devour whoever you're targeting, and that is just canceled out Misfortune. It's been great to see from Wasp. This Tom Kench was a fantastic B4 pick. Oh no, Wasp. We are praising you! What are you doing? Teleport's gonna come out this fight. Gosh. Not over. Desamas going to get stunned with the Solar Flare. Here comes the rest of Liberty, but I think they will smartly recognize that it was a disengage. Couple of pings on Baron here from Red, but they think they'll stop. The caster curse to a T. We praise Wasp, and he face checks a bush blind and just falls over.
Oh man, and the fact that they committed 2 teleports and were still able to call off a full disengage is just really excellent team communication there by Liberty. I mean, typically, some teams, if you commit 2 teleports, they're like, okay, even if it looks like a terrible fight, we committed so much to it already, we have to go in. But no, they were able to say, even with 2 teleports being wasted, we can still pull off, we can still take at least only 1 death and not anymore. Crastiel, even more so, had to commit his flash to get away on top of that as well. So in the span of 10 seconds, Crastiel losing both summoner spells for a team fight he wasn't even a part of.
Luckily on the Ari, the Spirit Rush can sort of supplement the lack of the flash, but no, you're right, Capcom. The fact that all gets committed. And good news for Liberty is the fact that Red also doesn't have any teleports. Guigo's teleport is on a very... Actually, Guigo teleported in as well, so his teleport is on the same timer as Kiari and Crastiel's. Grevthar's will be up here in about 30 seconds, so there is no sneaky Baron because Kiari shows in bot lane that Liberty has to worry about. The next big worry is that Infernal Dragon in a minute, but I would assume Kiari will push the bot side of the map and make sure he's omnipresent around that dragon, so I don't think anything's going to be lost from those teleports being blown. Luckily, if you're a Liberty fan, Though Crastiel might get caught out here. Does have the Spirit Rush. One charge, gonna get flashed on. Can't get away from the Zenith Blade. One more charge. Everfrost dodges the Solar Flare, but unfortunately, the Sonic Wave was what did him in. The Shadow Surge from Grefzar landing as well, getting the reset. And now, that flash not being there is a problem as they need to make up for this. This time Liberty does say, well, we have to commit to a fight, but they'll once again walk away as their mid laner does go down. Waz, gotta be careful. Shock Blast does land. Zap for Matsukaze will be dodged. Here comes Red there, not slowing down. Not even the Flame Chompers will stop this full-out sprint towards the bottom side of the map. They know they can pick up Infernal Dragon. They have not stopped. Kiari opts to not dash over the wall, maybe trying to create a bit of a distraction for the rest of his team. They are still running them down.
Gosh.
Now Kiari is going to get punished for not dashing over the wall. Tried to be the distraction, ends up potentially... Gigo bit off more than he can chew. Kiari's now going to send him on a wild goose chase. Has the blast cone, dodges the shock blast, but cannot dodge the Sonic Wave. Finally, Kiari goes down, and that should be an Infernal Dragon for Red here.
Fish, that was a 45-second chase.
They wanted the Infernal Soul Point. Not even Infernal Soul, it's in Soul Point, and that's how much it meant to Red.
Man, Fish, like, all of the gold, all of the kills is just on the junglers. The junglers are 100% dictating how this game is going right now. 5-1-3, 7-1-4 for Viego and Lee Sin. And unfortunately, we didn't quite get to catch that death right there, but now we have another 45-second death timer for one of the solo laners here for Liberty. They had the tempo lead, and so far throughout all of playoffs, once they get a tempo lead, there is no shutting them down. But this is the first game really that they had, once again, a huge tempo lead. It just, someone gets picked, then an objective gets taken. And right now, with the Sama still sitting nearly deathless, only one death and still a 400 shutdown on his head, he has to be there, or at this point, you're not really winning any more fights.
H is probably a little upset that kill onto Crastiel hurt his what was 100% kill participation until that kill came through solo down on the bot side. So yeah, but as you said, both junglers have been a part of almost every single kill. 8 of the 9 from Liberty side have been with Desamas there. 11 of the 12 have been with Aegis there for Red, though. Nothing really came of that Crastiel pick. He basically just handed over some gold to Red to really even this game up. Baron still alive. That Infernal Dragon in 3 minutes is a huge ticking time bomb for Liberty Campcom. They cannot afford, I don't think, to give Infernal Soul over to Red. That's going to help supplement Titan's lack of damage, though he might get caught out here. Is just able to walk away. The strut from Misfortune, giving him the bonus movement speed he needs to walk away safely.
And all of a sudden, Aegis has decided to build full defense. He has a GA now. He's built essentially a full tank Lee Sin, and he still has almost every single kill on his team, right? So you're not killing him anytime soon. I'm just going to be slightly worried about how much damage he's actually been able to do with this gold lead.
Grefthar walked into a Flame Chomper. And that started a terrible fight. Charm's going to land on to Jojo. He is just dead.
Oh my gosh.
Death Rocket nearly picks off Grefthar. Castiel. One more Spirit Rush charge. But a great Acceleration Gate Shock Blast combo from Gigo will force them away. The Flame Chopper nearly results in a kill. But with just a support down, I don't think you can push the Baron. For now, Liberty will start it up. But they need to be very careful.
TP back in here by Crastiel. Aegis does not have vision over this wall. No, he does have a ward to pop over the wall, though. TP being channeled on the top side. Try brush 5k on the Baron.
Gotta commit to it. They'll end up disengaging, so the Baron will reset. I think realizing that Jojo wasn't an important enough member to try and flip a Baron, especially with the Lee Sin, should usually have the advantage in those Baron flips with the Q Smite combo. So they'll disengage, and I think also Liberty realizing they have to have a lead, and they have to have tempo, Campcom, when that Infernal Dragon spawns, because Infernal Soul, it's not Cloud Soul like we've seen, and it's not Mountain Soul like we had in Game 2, which was more of a defensive one. That is the win more objective that Red really could use to blow this game out of the water.
That is also the objective that Liberty could use to blow out of the water. That's
they
why...
need a few more, unfortunately.
That's why it's called a Baron flip. Oh no, Grassy LTP.
Goodbye, Crastiel. He is dead. DeSamus now has to try and pick up the pieces. They walked into the top lane, Death Brush, and I think for about the 4th or 5th time on this game, Aegis and Guigo just blast somebody in the top lane, and that is Baron easily for the side of Red.
Yeah, that is not just one support picked out. That is the mid plus jungle picked out now by Red. They will absolutely be able to transition that into the Baron. And 8-1-5 now, Aegis. Grevthar, nice block there on the Super Mega Death Rocket. Easily able to secure. There cannot be any contest whatsoever by Liberty. And now, Baron on all 5 members for Red. 45 seconds remaining until their Infernal Soul is on the map. Can there even be a fight from Liberty?
Red can really, as we talking about this whole series, as you pointed out, Camcom, win the fight before the fight starts. If they're able to get a top turret potentially with Guigo pushing here, does not have the teleport, so it'd be a bit risky, but you could do some serious damage because you don't need this Infernal Dragon if you're Red. It's fantastic to have, but if Liberty gets a second dragon, a little bit extra damage, so what? You have that looming threat of Soul that makes Liberty play so much more aggressive here. I wouldn't hate it if Red just said split push away and got more resources than Liberty got, as Crastiel is dead again. Solar Flare to the face, and Jojo says, thank you very much. We'll take that dragon.
Thank you very much. We will take our soul.
DeSamus takes it.
DeSamus steals it over the wall. Oh my gosh, the absolute mad lad. Someone get this man an MVP already.
We caster cursed that 100%, Capcom. We thought that was a guaranteed red dragon. DeSamus knew what he needed to do. Unfortunately, losing your mid and your jungler when the other team has Baron buff is... Hey, denying Soul is great, but you're going to lose your mid tier 2. You're probably going to lose mid inhibitor before either, or mid inhibitor turret at least, before either of them spawn. It's the price of trying to stay in this game, but they're going to lose a lot for it, and they're not going to be able to do anything for the side of Liberty for the next 10 seconds while DeSamus stares at a gray screen.
Inhibitor mid lane will be taken. Inhibitor tower will be taken on the top side here as well. Was luckily able to keep Montakaze alive for at least a couple more seconds.
Oh, Jojo's going to go in. Crastiel this time at least can stopwatch the Solar Flare. Here comes DeSamus, the top inhibitor, left at about 25%. The Baron-powered minions are shooting at him. They're not going to stop as they get a great pick onto Guigo, and now they want to jump forward. Jojo has to flash away. It's a double kill as Crastiel finally gets some vengeance. Titan Aegis there. Jojo is just going to... Jojo, he had to sacrifice for the team. That is the right play, Camcom. Buys Aegis and Titan space. You cannot afford those shutdown golds going over to Liberty in a moment like that.
Yes, the 700 and 300 members for Red will be able to be kept alive. Kiara trying to snipe someone out in that bush, unfortunately, was the wrong bush. Aegis has 3 levels over DeSamus.
Aegis? Aegis? What?
Okay. We're going to get a replay of that last inhibitor team fight. DeSamus was the first engage there onto Guigo with the follow-up from Was. That was more than enough CC stacked up. It did turn into a double kill for our Ahri friend Crastiel there with that last charge of the Spirit Rush from the double kill as well. Was able to continue it, landing the final charm onto Jojo. And like you did say during the team fight, was the correct play for Jojo to sacrifice his own life. If he didn't do that, then there was the potential for another 45-second chase. I mean, I'm terrified to say that, but you know, the 45-second chase is apparently the meta now between Liberty and Red, so we'll see if there's another one. There will be at least another dragon fight here in 2.5 minutes, or at least another steal by DeSamus, depending on how well that goes. But Liberty, huge tempo lead, closing the gold lead a little bit. It is still 3,000 in the favor of Red, so it is still very much Red favored for their soul in a couple of minutes here. But yes, Liberty at least able to punish and overextend. They didn't just get absolutely stomped.
Yeah, I did not expect Liberty to go in on that, but that was a great call. But the good news for Red, as you said, the gold lead's still in their favor. They have super minions pushing for the next 2 minutes as well, so they will have super minions pushing while Dragon is up, and we've already, kind of seen the power of super minions. So I think that they aren't happy they lost 3 members. They probably wish they would have at least gotten a top inhibitor with the way that fight went. But the super minions are going to make it so Liberty can't get anything off of that one team fight here. They're just going to basically have to farm up, try again for another dragon that, again, Red doesn't have to have. And with Baron and Dragon on the same timer, Camcom, there's an argument if you're red that you just sit Baron, and yes, a second Infernal Dragon starts to cause some problems, but if they get third Infernal Dragon and you get Baron, you could potentially win the game.
Potentially. I do think that right now it is anybody's game, even with that 3,000 lead right now for red. It by no means are Liberty down and out. They still have almost the full bot lane completely in their favor, I would say. Of course, Matsukaze on the Jinx, not having any kills quite yet, but 4 items now to the 3.5 that Tyan has. This Jinx, if he is able to go untouched, whew, in a team fight, not like that one right there, but in a team fight, then yes, it's the very similar story to Samus, how he was able to pop off of one team fight. He got 3 resets, 1 triple kill, turned it so far in his favor in the jungle matchup. Matsukaze, he could do the exact same thing, just at 35 minutes, he's still quite not yet been able to find it.
I don't know if there's much more satisfying than the acceleration gate shock blast. Half your health is gone from a
4 hits a reset.
Well, here we go. We get 20 seconds on the Dragon. They're going to catch out
Samus.
Aegis, so he will be able to dash way down to Samus. Has to be careful. Has to expend the ultimate to get out of range there. Wanted to hold on to that flash. And now Samus has to opt for a reset. There is not a jungle camp up for him to heal off of. And this is Infernal Soul for red. There's no contest for Liberty. Their best call, you saw the ping, was to go Baron, but they don't have the health bars for it.
And just like that, red once again able to win the team fight before it even begins with the sheer amount of poke that Guigo has. 4 item Jace will be doing half your health bars with the slight poke that he is able to throw at you, right? And landing it onto Samus and Matsukaze, by far the 2 most important members for these team fights, right? Then you make them reset, you get them out of the river, and you're able to take your Infernal Soul now completely uncontested. You did mention Baron. Next objective here on the map, Liberty, 50-50 is very much a 50-50 in their favor if they want to take it.
They're hovering around it. Here comes the rest of the team. Titan up by himself. Maybe looking for some mid lane farming. The inhibitor has respawned in the mid lane for Liberty, so no more super minions to worry about as that shock blast is missed. But Kiari's defending the wave. Everything is up for everyone except for the ignite for JoJo. Otherwise, this will be a full-on, everybody's best team fight here. Shock Blast on cooldown. Now a chance to engage. Samus lands a stun onto JoJo, but not the member you're looking for. And Samus remembers what happens last time he got caught out. So he will simply walk away, and Gigo's going to look for another acceleration gate Shock Blast combo to open things up.
Full disengage, at least for the moment, from both of these teams for the Rift Herald. Liberty was forced out of the river. They had the river prior right then for a couple of seconds, but red was mostly just able to walk at them, scare them a little bit, scare them with the poke on the grass steal there as well. But Samus,
he goes in, he's going to get caught out. Super Death Rocket will land. Bullet time nearly misses one. Shadow Surge going to land onto Cross DL. Good night. Here comes the resets for Grevstar. Another goes down. The final reset will miss, however, but we've seen this story before. Camcom resets into the double kill, into the ace. It's game for red, and they are on match point, looking to move on to round number 3.
red came into this game, or last game even, 0-4 in playoffs. They have turned it back on its head, now coming into game 4 today. 2-1 up on Liberty. If they take game 4, they can continue their run